The chief of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, said on Friday that people from his home region of Tigray in northern Ethiopia were dying of hunger and lack of access to medicine because of what he called a systematic blockade.
People are dying because of lack of supplies. We cannot send supplies and medicine to Tigray because it's under blockade, and the blockade is systematic. So no medicine, people are dying, no food, people are starving, no telecommunication, they're isolated from the rest of the world.
Ghebreyesus, who was Ethiopia's former health minister, was speaking on Friday to reporters at the WHO headquarters in Geneva. He said assistance from the WHO and other aid organizations to the region had shrunk to, quote, almost nothing, close quote, as Tigray remains isolated. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government has been locked in a year-long war with the Tigray's People Liberation Front, or TPLF. The fighters have gained control of some key cities and have not ruled out a possible march on the capital, Addis Ababa. The TPLF has called for an end to what the UN describes as a de facto humanitarian blockade on Tigray. No aid has gone into the region by road since October. Last week, the government imposed a nationwide state of emergency for 6 months, leading to mass arrests that have further hampered the aid process. Let's bring in William Davison, a senior analyst at Ethiopia International Crisis Group. He joins us from Nairobi. Sir, welcome to the program. First and foremost, picking from those concerns raised by the WHO that no aid has gone into Tigray by road since October, what can be done in the short term to unlock the impasse, at least just so crucial supplies can reach those most in need? How do you see it?
The problem here is the overall quantity of aid being supplied. So, since June, when the federal government was forced out of Tigray, the federal military and administration, there has been very insufficient supply of aid to the region. There is only one land corridor. There's many bureaucratic impediments put in place. There was also no banking, telecoms, or electricity services. So sometimes we see trucks get permission, but it is very insufficient. We may see soon some trucks move to Tigray, but there is an estimate from the UN that only around 10 to 15% of the needed aid is reaching the region. So really, we need a very significant sort of sea change in attitude from the federal government here in order to prevent a famine inside the Tigray region.
William, picking up on what you've just said, even with threat of sanctions, the conflict is still ongoing. What can be done to solve the crisis in the long term?
That's a very difficult question. I think we have to take this step by step. At the moment, the Tigray leadership and commanders believe they're in a very significant military advantage. They've taken control of major cities in Amhara consistently since July, eastern Amhara. They're about 200 to 300 kilometers from Addis Ababa. They're also pressuring the Djibouti road, Ethiopia's main trade corridor, so they could potentially choke Addis Ababa. Unless the federal government is willing to make some very significant concessions, I think facilitating aid to Tigray, maybe a political amnesty for jailed opposition leaders as well, then we're going to see the Tigray forces continue to maximize the pressure here.
All right, William Davison, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your insight and analysis. Much appreciated.